Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm delighted to have lunch with you on a beautiful day like this. We meet here every Tuesday, you know. We are live. I'll quickly let you tell your yard people that we are live. We have gathered. If you can hear me loud and clear, say hello in the comment section below. Okay, and tell me where you're joining in from. Hashtag first timer if it's the first time you are meeting me, and why are you meeting me for the first time? My name is Chika Samuels. I am the fertility and lifestyle coach. Hashtag first timer if you're joining us for the first time, and I'll be in the comment section in a bit to get to know you, to answer your questions. And here every Tuesday we're discussing everything wellness, everything fertility, everything lifestyle. Okay, and I'm happy that you are here. Okay, if you missed the previous series or the previous episodes, I will encourage you to go back after watching this so that you can do catch up, because we're layering knowledge on top of knowledge, because we're going to be using some technologies and some information that we have passed across in previous episodes, assuming that you have watched them. So you do yourself a lot of good to go back and watch them after watching this, okay? Or you can pause this, like and share and subscribe, then go back and watch them and come back to complete. Yeah, so if you can hear me loud and clear, click the wow face or the wow button and let me know you can hear me very well, and I'll just give you a second to do that. So we have just started this started with a series, the common food insensitivities and the allergies, remember, and their impact on your fertility. Do they have any impact? What impact has research shown that they have? So previous episodes on this series, have been really very eye-opening. A lot of people are like, these are like my aha moment, because we picked on a whole lot. We picked on gluten, we picked on dairy, we picked on yeast. I strongly recommend that you go back to watch these very essential, educating previous episodes of this series. Then come to the comment section to share the value that you got. I would like to know the learnings that you got. Okay, so today we're wrapping up this series, common food intolerances or food allergies or food insensitivities and their impact on fertility. And like I always do, I tell you what I'm eating, I'm snacking on. What does it look like? Apple, green apple. I always have this. It's one of my son's favorite foods, so it's always in the fridge. So today we're picking on trans fats, okay, as a fertility culprit. Many of the what do they call them again on the shelves? You see them as gluten-free products. They actually include nasty ingredients such as soya, trans fats, and many other food additives, that are health damaging, food additives and preservatives that are really fertility damaging. All these food additives must be avoided if we really want to optimize your fertility. Yes, so now let's talk about the number one fertility killer that health experts and nutritionalists around the world agree that is decimating your chances of getting pregnant and carrying a healthy pregnancy to term. This major fertility threat or culprit, like I often like to call it, is found in seemingly inoffensive places such as your so-called healthy foods and in all types of fried food, deep fried foods, your pies, your pastries, your pizza, your small chops, your biscuits, ice cream, cakes, and more. So drum rolling, let's make room for the perpetrator, trans fat. These fats are uncommonly found in nature. Yes, they are. They're uncommonly found in nature, but they are easily, artificially manufactured. Very simple chemistry. When vegetable oils become heated and or they are hydrogenated, okay, then you have trans fats. Okay, so some people call it unsaturated fat or trans fats. They have been proven to increase the risk of, ovulatory infertility. Yes, ovulatory cysts and ovulatory infertilities when consumed instead of, carbohydrates, full whole grain carbohydrates. And they are often found in hydrogenated vegetable oils, like I mentioned. It's a result of hydrogenation of vegetable oil. It's a very simple chemistry, and hydrogenation makes fat solid at room temperature, okay? So hydrogenated, oil, they add texture to processed food, and they increase the shelf life. That's why you find it in most deep fried processed food. They keep the shelf life of packaged products. Okay, that's how come even without refrigeration of this processed food, they still maintain the freshness of processed at the time they were processed, because they are often reused in deep fryers, as they don't appear to spoil easily. Okay, they don't spoil easily. They are not commonly found in nature, like I mentioned, except in trivial amounts in some meat and dairy products. Okay, they are most commonly found in commercially baked food. That is where you find them most times. And I mentioned a couple of them: cookies, your donuts, your deep fried foods. Majorly, they are man-made fats, and they are created for the sole purpose to increase a product's shelf life and to allow the oil to be reused after it has already been reheated. So you see them down your road, maybe it's a woman frying akara or frying small chops or down the road. The same oil she used last week, she's reusing it and it doesn't spoil over and over again, because trans fat has the ability to be reheated. As research emerged, linking trans fat to a variety of health problems, government regulations in many jurisdictions stepped in and mandated labeling and restricted limits on the allowable amount of trans fat. So you see this in the label of your Tetra Paks or your canned foods. They are now insisted to put the allowable amount of trans fat, and this led to a significant decrease in the use of trans fat, with major companies that are reformulating their products to a reduced or eliminating trans fat. Also, some European countries have banned trans fat entirely, and the FDA have announced plans to follow suit. Okay, yet in some countries, trans fat remains entirely unrestricted, like developing countries. At the time of this, it remains unrestricted, and also in some, developed countries like United Kingdom also. So if you are in developing countries, these are what you find in your supermarkets, in your malls. In your imported products, trans fat is a biggie and is a major, part of the product that you found on those shelves. So this unnatural damaged fat is found in food products that you may be consuming on day-to-day basis. Okay, they are everywhere, such as, to name a few, your baked products, your cakes, your cookies, your ice cream, your pie crust, your crackers, containing shortenings, your ready-made frostings, your packaged products, your fried food, deep fried foods that are processed and commercially made, even baked, not fried foods, yes, also come under this category with loads of trans fat, including your potato fries, your corn fries, your tortilla chips, your French fries, your donuts, your fried chicken, your doughs, your prepared doughs, your pizza crust, your canned meals, your biscuits, your cinnamon rolls, your margarine, your non-dairy creamers for your coffee. Yes, they all have these damaged fats. So trans fats, I've already explained to you how it is converted from liquid vegetable oil to solid when making a shortening and when making a margarine. It's the same process, okay? It's the same process. So they are a result of a process, what's it called in biology again? Partial hydrogenation. Okay, that's how come we have shortening or margarine instead of the vegetable oil. It's just partial hydrogenation. And they show up in your processed and fried food because they extend the shelf life and they make them last for a long time. So fast food joints don't have to replace their frying oil as often like you would if you're doing it in your home. So twinkles, they never get bad. Small chops hardly get bad, and biscuits hardly, because it increases the shelf life. Unfortunately, these partially hydrogenated oils are quite harmful to your health and also to your reproductive organs. Not only are they linked to diabetes and cardiovascular diseases outside of pregnancy, they are also, well known to contribute to adverse pregnancy complications, okay, and also adverse pregnancy outcomes. So since they are foreign to the body, these are man-made trans fats, they are foreign to the human body, they can interfere with a variety of normal functions of your body. They can interfere, with your hormonal balance. The most, worrying finding that I found is that trans fat interferes with nutrient transport across the placenta. Did you know that? When I read that, I'm like, for example, trans fat disrupts normal essential fatty acid metabolism in your body. Yes, it does. When I read that study, I'm like, my goodness. Meaning that your baby, may not be getting enough of the omega-3 fats, even when you're taking all the Elixir drink in this world, needed for his or her optimal brain and vision development, because you're consuming trans fat. So trans fat worsen insulin resistance, and this is all research-based, meaning that your body has more trouble bringing your blood sugar down. And this effect may be passed on to your baby or your growing fetus, increasing their risk of diabetes later on in their life. And this is all in plain sight study. Even at relatively low levels of intake, trans fats are associated with low birth weights. They've been found to be associated with lower placental weights and with a higher risk of all this post-birth complications for the babies. They have also been linked to fetal loss by interfering with normal placental function. So even before, some people say before they get pregnant, they find out that the baby had gone. These are all things that we're talking about. Lastly, a high intake of trans fat is a risk factor for preterm birth, and this has been proven by sound research. Even though some of these snacks food may not be fried, trans fats may still be added to enhance cooking times and flavor. Okay, example, your movie microwave popcorn. That's a very classic example. In fact, a recent study by the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition from a group of researchers at Harvard University. What they actually found was that women with ovulation-related fertility challenges, they tend to eat more trans fats than fertile women. And they actually discovered that obtaining just 2% of total calories from trans fat was found to be associated. My goodness. When I read this, I'm like, what? It was found to be associated with a double risk of this type of infertility. That's ovulatory-related infertility. The study showed that each 2% increase in dietary trans fat calories was associated with a whopping 73% increased risk of ovulatory infertility. If this does not make you kick this fertility bad guy out of your pantry, out of your kitchen, out of your mouth, then I don't know what will convince you. It's been found difficult to separate, out the effects of total fat and trans fat, since a diet high in trans fat diet is often high in total fat. In contrast to trans, fat, higher total fat is known to decrease the risk of ovulatory problems, improving your ovulation, while as women with a diet high in trans fat were recorded to have increased risk of ovulatory disorders like repeated ovulatory cysts, low ovulatory function, poor egg quality, and all that. So dietary fat had actually been linked to markers of inflammation. Yes, a possible mechanism of trans fat effects. In fact, in a randomized crossover study where they had 50 men who consumed diets for 4 to 5 weeks that varied in trans fat content, what they found was the inflammatory protein markers were higher in men after the trans fat diet, showing that the dietary fatty acids can modulate the markers for inflammation. Okay, even though this data was preliminary, but I found it very concerning because trans fat has no benefits, and carries potential risks. They are best limited, or in fact, in our fertile diet, we just tell you to eliminate it because, in fact, creating a disciplined boundaries to keep them away from your storehouses is one of the best fertile decisions that you have to make. Like I often say, if you have unhealthy in your kitchen or in your pantry or in your fridge, you would definitely eat same and vice versa. So for me, what I do is to totally keep clear of it. Okay, for example, the last birthday celebration we had in my house was a 3-tier cake of PJ Masks for my son's 3rd birthday. Right after the birthday and the celebrations and the pictures, we sent each of the tiers, one to each of his godmothers. Let them enjoy. We didn't cut one. There was no need to. We instead had a healthy meal, celebration, healthy snacks, and you hardly see these unhealthy things around, because if you have them around, you're gonna eat them, unless someone visited and maybe someone came with it, and the person will definitely be going with it, or we'll have visitors and we serve it. Okay, but it is not our normal consumption, because you have to give attention to it. Okay, someone said, but what if I'm outside and I'm offered? What do? It's a simple exercise. You turn your head to the left, to the right, faster, or you collect it and give it out to someone else. So you see, when you're on our fertility intervention programs, you must have heard me say, these adages over and over again, about damaged fats and how they must be avoided if you really, really, really want to optimize, your fertility. These things we're discussing may seem very trivial, but they're very, very important for your fertility and your partners. Also, be careful when you're purchasing packaged or processed fat foods, because even when how do I put it? Even when a product claims to contain no trans fats, damaged fats are actually hidden under different names. And that is why in our coaching programs, we try to make you an informed consumer. Okay, so the parents that we have on our coaching programs, they are very informed and they make decisions. They are able to spot out the poisons from the shelf. Okay, they come with such names as hydrogenated, partially hydrogenated oil, any product that includes vegetable oil which are cooked or processed generally contain damaged fats, just as a rule of thumb, just so you know. So even if it's not classified as trans fat, they are still going to negatively impact your hormones, your cellular building blocks, and ultimately your health and your fertility. So it's something that you really want to give attention to, because trans fat has been linked to cancer, heart diseases, and what's still infertility. So this should be enough for you to eliminate. You can do without them. There are so many, you'll be spoiled for options. So many healthy foods that are even cheaper than these packaged ones that you have to buy so expensive. Because researchers have been able to link this damaged fat consumption to not just female ovulatory illnesses, to male infertility also, to prostate cancers, as well as sperm and egg quality issues. And there is large and loads of sound research out there that has this proof. So the reality is, if you're eating these foods, you are drastically decreasing your chances of taking home a healthy baby. If your chances were maybe 70%, you're really, really drastically reducing it. Okay, so we really need to give this attention. If you're struggling with replacing foods with healthier alternatives, go back to the So Precious Fertile Diet Plan, which you share at our coaching programs, at our treatment plans, and you'll be spoiled for option. There's still a whole lot that you can give attention to. So avoid these processed vegetables, oils. You see them in the market and all that in plastics, and they are high in omega-6, fatty acid. I'm talking about your corn oil, your soybean oil, your peanut oil, that's your groundnut oil, your canola oil, and they're even in plastic, so they are coming with your BPAs and ending up in your kitchen and in your body. So please avoid these oils that have been partially or fully hydrogenated, as you can see them labeled for the ones that are packaged, as their main, sources of man-made trans fats. The only fats that should be limited are those that are high in omega-6 fats, such as these oils that I've just mentioned, and they are man-made, trans fats, and your body does not understand it. So generally eliminate them. They are artery clogging. They make you have joint issues, inflammatory issues, and you really don't want to deal with this. And I've mentioned a whole lot of where you can find them in your crackers, in your cookies, and all that. So in our fertility coaching program, what we normally do is we do a kitchen revamp. We do a healthy virtual revamp on our treatments plan, where I get to see your kitchen and I get to help you know the things that you should take out. Because a lot of things, because these things are right in front of you, just think, oh, it's okay. By the time we do the Kitchen virtual revamp. I find that most pastries are filled with cancer-causing, partially hydrogenated oils, and these have been, they've been altered to give them more stable shelf life, like I mentioned in the process, creating dangerous trans fatty acids. And these devitalized oil, they impair the immune system response by interfering with the things that should be fighting allergies or infections or cancers, and it's as if the body is not able to fight against inflammatory illnesses and joint diseases also. Okay, so you really don't want to take few steps forward in your fertility journey, and by use of these fats you are making things worse. They are also documented that the use of such refined hydrogenated and partially hydrogenated oils have been shown to also raise blood cholesterol levels, and in addition, the destructive processing of these oils for consumer consumption include carcinogenic preservatives. Yes. Okay, so I often say that insulin resistance is not just a result of quick release of carbohydrates. The person is always eating carbohydrates. No, another contributing factor has been found to be high intake of trans fats. Yes. So for this reason and more, I hope I've been able to convince you that avoiding trans fat is another important goal of your fertile diet. Okay, unfortunately, it doesn't take much trans fat to have a harmful effect like I've shared with you. Even a few grams per day has been linked, like I told you, to increased risk of type 2 diabetes, to insulin resistance, and to ovulatory illnesses. And you really don't want to be dealing with this, okay? So I hope you have gained value, and I hope you have learned something. And I know what you have heard is something you want to share with someone. So click share and subscribe if you love the kind of value that we're giving in this program, and I'll be in the comment section to give you more insights. Okay, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Till we meet next week, keep living healthy and keep giving the world your best.